In this video, I'm going to recap my portfolio, specifically the miners, and where I think miners will go and the levels that I'm looking to buy for the specific miners. I will very quickly recap currently where the markets sit, the main sectors, and where I think they're going. So the S&P is basically going sideways. It's still slightly technically bullish. Okay, I can say that for all the markets, just very, very, very short term, very slightly technically bullish. We broke out a little bit. We've retested, not the best retested, the S&P anyway. The other markets are actually better, but the S&P is the general market barometer. I do think we might go sideways and eventually, okay, some indices may pop a little bit, but I think they'll fail and flush. The reason for that is not because of the technicals of those markets. You know, Nasdaq, for example, is not exactly weak. It's a little bounce as possible. But why do I think a flush is going to happen later? That's because of the other sectors, namely yields that are starting to break out. And I'm looking at the 2-year for a reason. It's the most important one, in my opinion, short-term rates. And if they go up, markets should go down. So really, it's the yields that will push the markets lower. Okay, maybe not immediately on Monday, but very, very soon. And if I look at the dollar, that also, like yields, looks like it's ready for another move higher to the next level, and that too should put pressure on the markets. Likewise, it should put pressure on commodities and also the commodity sort of equities. So let's look at gold and silver, because those are the main stocks that I own in relation to commodities. So gold and silver, just like the markets, may go sideways up a little bit, but I think they will come back down to the next level lower. Silver is probably even more obvious. You can see the weakness there. And yes, you can see where I think it's going already to the next level. So having said all that, having said that the markets may pop 1 or 2 days, but basically go lower in the short term with commodities, that means that the GDX and the GDXJ, although they too have found, and you know, if I look at the GDXJ, that's actually overdone the drop a little bit. You know, it's below its ascending support on the close. It could pop a little bit, maybe retest the ascending and fail. But essentially, I think that too may go lower to the next level. Now, that's asking a lot, because it would have meant, I mean, if we do drop to the next level, that's a big decline, right? So that would be from the absolute high. I mean, where we are, we've come down over 13%. I mean, that's the close. We basically did 15%. If we go all the way down to the next level, whether it's here or there, it's almost 20% move. That's pretty big. The GDX should be less, but we've done sort of 10%. And if we go all the way down, yeah, also 20%. So I'm not sure how long it will take to get down here. I think it will happen. I'll add that line. But I think we'll get there quite soon, as long as the US dollar goes up and yields continue to go up. I think markets and commodities, and therefore ETFs like the GDX and GDXJ, should also come down. So what does that mean for the individual miners? And now I get to go through my portfolio. Now, if we look at Barrick Gold, that's come down already. For me, not enough, but it's a very strong stock. Okay, we're down, you know, as we sit right now, it's about 11% from its high. I do think, and here you can see where I think the next level is 16.5. I do think we can get there. Now, I don't think we're going to get there quickly, you know, have a little bounce and maybe go lower, but I do think that Barrick Gold will be bought on the drop. So I think I may have to chase this one when it looks like it's done flushing along with the rest of the miners. So Barrick Gold is one that I bought it. Actually, my average is very low because it was one of the most recent stocks that I added to my portfolio, believe it or not. It's one that I didn't hold for years, actually. And then I started to buy it really a couple of months ago on the drop, but I didn't buy enough. As usual, I'm buying in tranches on the way down, and I got this drop here. So my average is low, but I didn't have enough, and I didn't add to it on this pump. So really, I'm looking to buy quite a significant amount on the drop. Newmont is the opposite. It's I actually bought this too early on the drop. I think it was here, 52. Yeah, on this, exactly on this drop here on earnings. And then after So I had a pretty bad average in the sort of 48s, 49s, and then I did buy and I started trading this area. So my average got lower, sort of mid 40s or something. And then obviously when I was in the black, I started to sell on the way up, but it's still my heaviest holding. It actually came back down very recently. So that was because of some report that it might buy Newcrest, was it? But that's, whatever. That's just consolidation in the sector. It's actually bullish for the sector. But Newmont has come down, and this candle here actually sold this at 57.08. I got a bit lucky just as at the market open. I don't think we should count this as the high because this was some sort of a pre-market fake print. I'm gonna say 57 because I remember selling there, so that was the actual high. But we're down, a lot more than Barrick, so this one is relatively all oversold. And you can see where I think the levels are. I've actually added quite a few levels down here because I think it will be accumulated quite a lot here. This one I don't need to add. I still own too much, so it's something I will sell on the way up. So if we do pop, I'm looking maybe to sell just before 50. So it'd be sort of 49, 49 probably. And then if it goes higher, I'd have to look at the sector and the markets to decide where the next level would be. But I'd probably sell more on the way up. This is what I need to sell. And basically what I sell in Newmont, I'd probably want to buy in Barrick. So I need to rebalance these two. Agnico-Eagle, this is probably the best stock to buy in the whole sector. I just feel like it's the strongest one. It just keeps climbing up. How much has it come down? I still haven't bought it yet. 11% is quite a lot. It's just, I think I can get it cheaper. So I'm being greedy here. You can see where I think first support will be. We basically touched that. So no, but I still think I can get it a bit lower here, sort of just at 50, just above 50. So 50.11 or something I'll probably buy. And then if we lose this ascending support, I do expect it to sort of flush a little bit to the next level where it's, 46-ish. So I really hope to add more to this. I've got a decent amount, but I think it's the best stock. Actually, these three up here, I mean, these seniors are just monsters. If you don't know the sector, buy these three and you're good. Wheaton, this one has not come down a lot. I remember it was weak down here and then it's just made a late pump and it stayed very high. I mean, how much has this one come down? 7%. It's nowhere near as much as the others. Very, very strong. Technically, it's going to have a lot of support around here, so I would be looking to buy maybe a bit higher now. Just below 42, maybe. Let's see if it pumps also, or if it sort of goes up a little bit with the markets and then comes back down, and I might have to start buying it just about 42 based on this ascending line. And if we lose the ascending line, I'm not sure if it'll stop off at 40, but we'll see. This one, I've got a decent amount in it, so I'm not worried. It's just, yeah, I want to add to all the miners, and this is one of the best. So this is a bit of a royalty play, actually. Pan American Silver, this one has, you can see what happened when it's lost its ascending support, just instantly down. Didn't buy it. And this one is a late bloomer. And it hasn't actually pumped that much compared to the others. I remember it was very weak and then it sort of had a late pop with the sector, but I think I can get it here. You can see where I think I'm going to get it just above 16. Really there's not much difference. I hope I don't miss this. I've got a decent amount in it, but I still haven't added despite this drop. So, it's come down 14, 15%, still haven't added to it. It's quite a decent amount of a drop. Seeing as I was selling on the way up, I think if you asked me a couple of weeks ago if I would add after a 14% drop, I'd say yes, but for some reason I haven't added yet. So I may have to chase this one if I feel like it's not going to come back down here to 16, because I don't think it's gone up as much as the others. You zoom out, and this is a very, very good stock. So yeah, I may have to chase this one if I'm going to miss this, but I do still think the sector will come down. So I'm going to leave my buy in here. I've always got good till cancel buys in. Mag Silver, this one came down before the sector did, actually. So I knew it would come down more. When you have a weak stock and the sector starts to go down, you can expect it to keep going down. The only reason I would start chasing this one is if it stops going down when the sector goes down, because it has been sold. I think it did some dilution, so you can understand the drop. But now we've got almost 25% drop. I think, and this is a good stock. For me, this is a very good stock. It's sort of a senior silver. and I'm very happy to have bought it down here. This is one of the late additions to my portfolio, also a bit like Barrick. Very happy. But for me, this is a sort of a senior silver play, generally a senior stock. So I think it's quite trustworthy. And I think we're pretty close to the support. So I don't want to get more greedy. I mean, what can you ask for beyond the 25% drop? So you can see I feel like buying pretty hard, very close. I got two support lines nearby. So I may just chase this one if I think I'm not going to get it. And then I'll let it come down to the next support, which is only 6% away. So this one's come down a lot. I should probably start thinking about buying that. Goldfields. This one is kind of the opposite of Mag Silver. It's very strong, you know. Mag obviously had dilution, so you can understand the weakness. But Goldfields, look at this. You know, after what was it, Agnico-Eagle and Pan America, that decided to buy Yamana, and therefore Goldfields was out of the equation. Goldfields just popped so much. I sold into this pop, only bought once on a drop, didn't sell the repop because I thought that I just didn't have enough. You know, I wanted to own more Goldfields because Goldfields was one that went to new highs. If I just zoom out, new highs before the bear market forced it lower, along with every other stock in the sector. So for me, Goldfields is one that wants to go up. It's just looking for an excuse to go up. It's a great buy the dip candidate. Not just this pump, but also this pump here after the Yamana deal was sidelined. So we're near support. I should be buying. I haven't bought, and I thought about it just yesterday too. I should chase this one, as in buy it now, just to make sure I bought this zone. You see, if I was to buy this now, or even if I'd buy it higher, let's say on Monday, it's starting to look green, and I start to get emotional, which I shouldn't, and I chase it and buy it at 20, at 10, let's say 70, which is not the best buy. That would mean I bought this entire zone. You know, that's the way I would say, okay, I bought this zone. So if it starts to go back down, I'm not going to buy it at 10.31, which is probably where I would buy it normally. But because I chased it, I'm going to say, no, the next buy is at 10 or even just below at 9. And if it never gets there, fine, doesn't matter. I bought this entire range. So I do feel like I may have to chase Goldfields because this is a sufficient drop for me for a stock that wants to go higher. You know, 18%, I'm starting to get a bit greedy here. And the only reason it's not specific to Goldfields, I'm looking at the GDX, I'm looking at the Nasdaq, I'm looking at the yields, I'm looking at the dollar, and I still think I can get it cheaper. But now it's starting to get a bit ridiculous because I need to buy back. They've come down a lot, and some of them are very good stocks, like Goldfields. So Goldfields, I'm going to leave my buy target where I think it should be, but I think I'm going to have to start buying this now. Very good stock. Gran Colombia. Oh wait, it changed its name. I didn't even know that. I may have to look at that. This should be Gran Colombia. Honestly, I haven't listened to. I don't look at the balance sheet. I should, but I can't look how many stocks I own. I did listen to a few interviews once I go cycling in the forest to the CEO. I was very impressed by the recovery story. I mean, if I zoom out, Gran Colombia, and I'm still going to call it Gran Colombia, just got destroyed. It's one of those we're going to go bankrupt stories. Oh no, we've saved the company, and actually it looks very good, and no one knows the story enough. So I think it's a bit of a sleeping giant. It didn't pop until late on, so it was a late pop with the sector. But I kind of think that it has a very good balance sheet, very good dividend yield. It's in a pretty good jurisdiction. I think it's Colombia, and yeah, I'm quite happy with the stock. It did have a late pop. I sold this range, so it's very nice. I got the high. I own a decent amount, so I'm in no hurry to buy this back. I do think it can go back down to 3, maybe even lower, because that was kind of strong resistance on the way up. So I'm in no hurry with this one. I don't mind waiting for it here, and if it doesn't, then it's okay. I've got enough for it to go higher. First Majestic, this one I have already added to. You can see why my buy zone was here. I added to it, I think it was on Thursday. So you know, it's come back down to my support. It's been weak for a while. I don't even know why. I don't even think it had news, But, you know, First Majestic is one of the best silver stocks, down over 25% at some point. You know, enough said. I don't need to just justify it anymore. Good stock, come down a lot. I'd sold already the pot, so it wasn't worth enough. You know, my holding, the value of my holdings was too low, so I've stacked it back up to my minimum amount. If it goes lower, to be honest, if it goes lower, we're talking about all-time lows. When I mean all-time lows, I'm not, you know, I'm talking about during the bear market. I'm not going back several years. But would I be worried? No, it would depend on the reason for the drop. If it's just technicals with the sector, great buying opportunity. If it's getting some problem with the Mexican authorities, and I hate all that stuff when it comes to miners, and you know, every jurisdiction seems to be at risk. You know, even Canada and America, I mean, with some of these legislations they pass, you know, they're looking for money. You know, these countries are bankrupt, and with these green movements, it's just easy prey, you know, blame miners as some polluting story. But obviously I disagree with that. But it's very hard to own this sector when you've got this sort of background noise. But anyway, I still think that regardless of the news, a pop would come. So if it did go down here, whether it was technicals or fundamentals, I still think there'd be a pop and a way to get out. But I'm not thinking about that at all. For me, First Majestic is one of the best silver miners, definitely one of the best CEOs, and I'd see it as a buying opportunity. And I see the current level as a buying opportunity, which is why I bought it already. One of the very few that I have already bought. Fortuna is another one, despite being down. And by the way, how much was First Majestic down? And 25%. Fortuna is down nowhere near as much. So you'd probably ask me why I bought that when you have others down a lot more. And the reason is a bit like Goldfields. It made new highs late. So it wanted to go up. I think there was some good news too. I think this one also with the Mexican authorities, they challenged the decision. I don't actually know. I know they had some issues with the Mexicans, and I think it was resolved or something. Maybe I'm completely wrong actually, but it you know, it wanted to make new highs whilst the rest of the sector was sort of done and had already topped out. And now it's being forced back down with the market coming down. So for me, when I see a stock that wanted to go to new highs, but it was forced down, it's a great candidate for a bounce play. So although it hasn't come back down much, although to be honest, 16% is more than the seniors, right? Seniors have done sort of 10, 15%. So anyway, I added to this. It was the first buy zone. I do see another buy zone just here. So I could buy soon again. It's just small buys, and these are not heavy buys at all. But if we go back down even more, then they'll be stronger. So Fortuna, I just topped back up, let's say. So I'm quite happy with that. I actually wanted to come back down more. EXK is another one that I bought. This one also made, I don't want to say new highs because it didn't, but it sort of broke above its prior resistance, testing 3.9 here. So this is another strong silver candidate for me, and it came back down sufficiently, so I did buy, and to a range where I thought it was a buy. Look at that, 18%. That's, you know, this entire range here, just around 3, just above 3 is a bit of a buy zone. So yeah, I bought that. And to be honest, the next level is and I'm going to say it again, all-time low, although it's not an all-time low, 2.5-ish. So, you know, you buy here and then you wait and see if it goes to the all-time low. So this is an area buy. Darlene, another one that I bought. To be honest, they're all the silver ones that I bought. It's really First Majestic, Fortuna, EXK, CDE, and Discovery Silver. That's basically what I bought. I've just realized they're all the silvers. So I'm really looking to add to the seniors, the gold seniors. But anyway, CDE, that one had problems. It was a late pop. I remember when all the other miners were going up, this one was consolidating down here, so it was weak, relatively weak. It did make a run for the resistance. It didn't break above it. I didn't sell this. This is the one stock I didn't sell on the pop because I thought it was relatively weak, so it had a long way up to go. You can see if I zoom out, you know, the other stocks sort of went all the way up here. And this one, if it pops, it can do, this is probably the quickest mover. CDE can move like 100% in 2 or 3 weeks. So I was kind of gambling on that to happen. It didn't happen. And I think we came back down to support. You can see this ascending line, which coincided with the drop in the GDXJ, right? That hit ascending support too. So I basically bought on this day here, which I think is a Thursday. Yeah, essentially at the close. So I bought that range. Now I'm going to ignore it. And then if we go lower, which I think is going to happen, right? Then I think the next low will be just around 310. So I'll probably buy this at 311 or something, just above 310 if we drop down a level in the miners. So I'm happy with that buy. Discovery, this one I bought here. You can see why. It's a very, very immediate support. I do think it will go lower. It was starting to get weaker also, whilst some of the other miners were making new highs or testing their old highs. Discovery wasn't getting there. It wasn't getting to the 115 zone. And I knew it was going to happen, this drop. I was looking forward to it. I'm sure I mentioned it in those prior videos. And, here I am buying it. I think I bought this one at 91.5 or 92. Not the absolute low, but kind of in the lows. So right now it's kind of where I bought it. But yeah, if it goes low, I do think it can get to the maybe even below 80s. You can see where I think it might get. And again, that would take the whole sector going down a level, going down another 5 or 10%. This one, let's ignore it. This one is an anomaly. This one I've held actually for a while, and I was trading it, always kind of I think I bought it. I remembered selling it in the ones also, but I've forgotten, but I owned it in this period, but I was trading it, not too aggressively, sort of selling. You can see the ranges. These are old markings that I had. So, but my average somehow has gone back down to 20 or 22, which is quite good given where we are, given what's happened. And this range I was selling to, this actually was where I really got to reduce my average, buying in the sort of 14 range, 15 range, and selling just, around 19. And now it's come back down. I haven't sold it in a while. I'm in the black. My average is 22-ish, which is like 100% from where it is. But this can move. This one's a bit weird. I remember watching the interviews in the past. I haven't heard much recently. I do actually believe it'll go up. But anyway, there's not much. It's one of the juniors, so I don't own that much. Juniors are typically worth 50% of the senior. And it doesn't really matter if it goes to zero. I don't think it will, though. So I'm looking for a bit of an aggressive pop on some news someday, which will probably move at 100%. I think I have my selling below 19 because I realized that will be strong resistance. I think it's like 1889 or something, but that would take out this descending line. Anyway, this one let's ignore because I'm not looking to buy this. I think I've got to accept that this might go to zero, so I'm not looking to buy anymore. I've learned lessons in my past 15 years to accept when you should stop adding to a position and rather look to sell it if it goes up rather than add to it if it goes down. If it goes down and it goes back up, I'll be selling where it is now, for example. So this one I'm going to leave and I'm not going to talk about buying because I'm not going to do it. And it doesn't seem to trade much with the GDXs anyway. Turmalina, which is one that I treated just like Trillium, actually. I allocated the same amount. I thought it was kind of a brother, the way it was trading a bit. You can see it also came down very similarly. It's just this one has reacted with this sector and it's had good news. So this one, you can see what good news was like here. This is what I expect to happen to Trillium, just a pop from 17, almost 100%. And a couple of weeks later, it was 100%. And again, another pop. So this one, from, let's call it 15, 16, 17, all the way up to almost 50, huge move, huge move, almost 200%. So that's what I'm hoping happens here. But this one I sold all the way up here in the 44s, 42s. This spike, I actually had sells here, but they didn't get hit. Sometimes that happens in very illiquid, tiny micro juniors. Or this is rather a junior, not a micro junior, but it's a shame because I knew this area was a sell too, this line, and I had two sells and they didn't get hit. It happens. I don't fully understand it, but I think some exchanges allow it to go up, but there weren't sells in that exchange. I don't understand, but yeah, I did sell 44 and 42. I wanted to come back down. I thought it would with the sector. It has, but Yeah, I thought it would come back down here to ascending support, but it may just hover around here. So I've actually moved this buy up. I may just buy back basically one of the cells, one of the two cells that I did up there. I may buy it back just in case it flushes with the sector down here. I'll buy back the second lot that I sold up here. So you can imagine my average is 43 sell here. And then my average buy would be sort of, I don't know, 29. And that's great swing trading of a long-term position. And then if it goes lower, I'll be buying back what I sold here. So very happy with this one. I may chase one buy, but otherwise I'm very happy. Finally, Reyna Silver, another junior small cap that I've traded very well. The breakout came. I did have more sells. I thought it would actually go a little higher, but I sold this range. And I actually bought this back 1 or 2 days ago. I think it was actually on Wednesday because I thought it was low enough, even though I thought the sector might go lower, and it did. You can see Thursday, Friday, these are more drops in the miners, but it didn't really change much in terms of price action. It's still hovering in the low 20s. So I brought this back, and to be honest, I'm not looking to buy it back anymore because it's been well traded. It's got a small amount allocated, but there's no level below. So if it does go lower with the sector, we're talking about new lows, and I'm not comfortable buying at random prices because there's no historical data. So if it starts to go to new lows, I'll have to let it just settle and start to make a bit of a curl on its own chart. I'm not just going to buy in the abyss. But it's been well traded, and even if it goes to zero now, I'd be happy because I've made good money on it. I don't think it'll go to zero, of course, but this could just go low and go to 10 cents, which would be a 50% drop from where it is. So I'm in no hurry to buy a next tranche. I've just bought back what I sold up here. So very happy with it, but also wondering what happens now because a move low in the sector could take us to new lows. So this is why, with the juniors, you've got this element of unknown and risk, which you don't have with the seniors. And actually, I bought the medium tiers. I bought this, and they all happen to be silver miners because silver medium tiers go down quite quickly compared to sort of gold seniors. But I'm really looking to add to my gold seniors. And, this Reyna, this Turmalina, Trillium, these three are risky ones to me. Discovery used to be classified as a risky junior, but I think it's well known, and I wouldn't classify it like that anymore. I would just call it a medium silver, which has risk in itself. It moves, it's pretty volatile on the way up, on the way down. Typically, look at these. Let's zoom out. They're pretty volatile. But I think eventually I want to just own the medium and seniors because they're a lot more predictable, and I don't need to play the lottery anymore with these little juniors. My account is big enough. I don't need to do it. This is why I've allocated a very small amount to them. But anyway, I think I'm just going to add to the seniors. I'm very happy with the medium and the juniors. And some of the seniors have come down a lot. Some of them are very good stocks. Goldfields, for example, Mag Silver, they've come down. This has come down a lot. So anyway, I'll leave it there. That's my portfolio. I also want to start reviewing. Actually, Fortitude is one I used to own. I closed that position. It's something I forgot to mention because whilst all the sectors come down a lot, Fortitude is hanging around near its old highs. I closed the position 640 something. Just this pop here the other day. Although it's a good stock, good dividend, it had good news also. I just don't see the maximum this will go up is 40% just to reach its, the all-time highs. Whereas if I look at any of these stocks, look at just First Majestic, which is a monster that everyone knows. 40% just takes us to where we were a couple of weeks ago. Forget it. If we're making new highs, then Majestic will be, going all the way up. For example, at least this prior high from a few months ago, which is 200 and something percent. So why would I leave my capital in Fortitude, even if it gives an 8% dividend, if that's still correct, when I can make so much more in First Majestic? Plus, I was selling something that was green whilst all the other ones were going down. So that was a bit of a strategic, not strategic, some operational sell. So that's my portfolio. What I meant to say is I will be looking at all the other miners. There are some on my watch list like these here, marked in red. These are sort of seniors and mediums that I like, that are credible and that are reliable enough to buy. You know, they're not going to go to zero. They're good seniors and good mediums. Hecla, for example, is a good silver medium. And sometimes I look at those to see if maybe I can buy one of those rather than just adding to existing ones. So I like to diversify within the sector, but I think I'm already pretty well diversified. Anyway, I'll be looking at that without boring you. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed the video. I may do a video on my other alternative stocks, but I may not. Otherwise, enjoy your Sunday.